Let's see how well the RTX 4090 performs in Dragon's Dogma 2. And most importantly, will we see any CPU bottlenecks using the i7-14700KF CPU? As for the system specifications, I am using the MSI RTX 4090 SUPRIM LIQUID X. It is installed in my pre-built CyberPower PC powered by MSI. Full system specifications are on the screen now, check them out. And if you are interested in buying a PC like this one here, check it out at the link in the description below, where I will also have all the Amazon links for all the PC parts, just in case you want to build this PC yourself. To experience Dragon's Dogma today, I am using the 4K 144Hz monitor by MSI. This is G321CU model. I'm using the AverMedia Live Gamer Ultra 2.1 4K capture card to record the gameplay, to make sure that there is no performance loss. Do you need a new Windows license key like I do right here with my new PC build? Then I have a great solution for you. Over the last 3 years, I've saved a lot of money by buying my Windows keys from cdkeyoffer.com. Allow me to demonstrate. I will be going for Windows 11 Pro. So just click on Buy Now. Then use my discount code IVADIM. Hit Apply. And that brings the price down to $22. After that, you just submit the order and select the payment method you wish to use. I will be going with the safe and fast PayPal payment. So you just press Pay Now. Once you're done with your payment, you will be redirected back to CDK Offer. And that's your order complete. Now you can go to User Center. Actually, it will redirect you there, where you can just grab your key by pressing View Key Code, Get Key, and then copy it. Then you can use your search bar to quickly bring up activation settings, change key, insert that key, hit Next, activate, wait a few seconds, and there you go. Now you have your Windows activated and ready to use for a fraction of the cost that you would normally pay. Get yours now at the link in the description below. And by the way, you may have noticed that they also have other Microsoft software, including Office 2019 and Office 2016. Don't forget to use my discount code if you want to grab any of those. Let's start our testing at 4K resolution and no DLSS for now, but we'll have a look at that a bit later. And everything else is maxed out. So it's not your normal high graphics preset. I've actually increased quite a few things, such as mesh quality, texture filtering, texture quality, as well as grass tree quality, and shadow quality. I've turned off motion blur, bloom, depth of field, lens flare, and lens distortion, because all of these effects are quite annoying. And we've grown accustomed to starting our testing inside of the town, just to check if game developers actually fixed the CPU performance issues that have been bugging the game since its launch, which happened almost 1 month ago. And as you can see, it's not better. The performance is still pretty bad. Just take a look at that frame time graph. It is all over the place, and the performance shows that as well. Take a look at that GPU load. It is just jumping up and down, so it's not consistent. Even though in other areas, as you will see later on, it will be nice and smooth. So even with the RTX 4090, you will have to tolerate this kind of performance when you are inside of the town. At least we're getting close to 60 FPS. Sometimes it drops to about 50. Yeah, not pleasant, but let's move on and have a look at the performance when you are outside doing missions. And out here, the GPU load has stabilized at 99%, so the GPU is fully loaded. And the FPS is above 60. By the way, this is quite a demanding scene because of all this foliage. Take a look at the fields. Yeah, there's quite a lot going on in this scene, in this area. It is interesting to see that the RTX 4090 is what you actually need to play this game with maxed out settings at 4K. However, I must say that the grass doesn't look particularly great. It is quite grainy. I'm pretty sure that YouTube compression will mess it up when I upload the video, so you probably won't notice it when you watch the video, but believe me when I say this, the grass is quite grainy. And when I look at the grass in the distance, I can see some sizzling. I'd like to remind you that we are using TAA, so anti-aliasing is on and should be doing its job, but the sizzling is still a part of the artifacts that come with TAA technology. And that's where DLSS comes in handy, because it also does anti-aliasing while improving performance. Yep, just as I thought, DLSS does a pretty good job doing the AA for us, and the sizzling is pretty much gone, even when I look at the grass in the distance. By the way, the image quality is still great, even using DLSS. I cannot tell the difference between native using TAA and DLSS set to quality. That is the benefit of using DLSS at higher resolutions, especially at 4K. It's just very good. I'd like to check how much performance DLSS actually provides in this game. So we are currently in this scene right here, and we are getting 88 FPS. Sometimes it drops to 87. Now let's go ahead and disable DLSS. DLSS is now off. Yeah, once the FPS stabilized, it appears that we've lost about 16 frames. Enabling DLSS is definitely worth it because you get a better image quality, you get rid of all that sizzling when you look at the grass in the distance, which is nice, and you get higher FPS, so it's a win-win. And if you want to get an even higher FPS, then set DLSS to balanced mode. Whereas previously with DLSS set to quality mode we had 87 to 88 FPS in this particular scene, now it appears that with balanced mode we're getting only like 3 to 4 FPS more than that. And the quality is a little bit worse, so I don't think it's worth it. In my opinion, I think we should stick with DLSS set to quality. Now let's see how the game performs using the high quality preset. That reduced some of these settings right here. We are still running on DLSS quality because, as we've already established, that is the best option because it provides anti-aliasing as well as extra performance. But I will turn it off later on just to show you what the performance is like without it. Other than that, every setting is set as per the high quality preset with the exception of these settings right here that I've turned off: motion blur, bloom, depth of field, all the things that I do not like. These are just some effects. They don't really affect the performance that much. Oh, and take a look at that. It looks like in this particular area the CPU is the limiting factor because look at that GPU load. It is nowhere near close to 99% utilization. And the FPS is 90 plus here and over 100 in less demanding scenes. Not bad, not bad. However, we're still far from getting that 120 FPS experience. It appears that it is not quite possible to get that 120 FPS experience even with lower settings. And I really doubt that upgrading to something like the i9-14900K or Ryzen 7 7800X 3D would make much of a difference. Just to remind you, I'm currently running this game on the i7-14700KF CPU, which is still quite a powerful and fast CPU. Oh, the cart is getting attacked. Let's help them. I'll cast the spell now. Get some. Boom. Eliminated. What about that harpy? Come on. Oh, stamina in this game. My god. It is one of the worst mechanics in this game. The stamina. Just check it out. After sprinting for about, I don't know, what feels like 20 meters. Well, not 20, probably 30, 50 meters. Boom, my stamina is gone. Terrible. Terrible decision, terrible game design, in my opinion. Okay, so let's see how the game performs on high graphics preset without DLSS set to quality. Right now in this scene, we're getting 100 plus FPS, close to 100. Let's turn off DLSS. Whoa, that is quite a lot. We've lost about 20 FPS. And as I said previously, the image quality is actually worse now, using native resolution with TAA. The grass doesn't look as good, it is quite grainy, and TAA introduces some sizzling of the grass when you look at the grass in the distance. Let's move on to 1440p resolution. I've maxed out all the settings, so this is not high quality preset anymore. And I think that using the RTX 4090, it would be quite counterproductive to actually use high quality preset, especially at 1440p, because this GPU is more than powerful enough to handle this game at 1440p. And have a look at this, over 100 FPS. Well, this is pretty much the same performance as we've had using DLSS set to quality mode at 4K. Because take a look at that GPU load. It is not at 99% anymore, which means that the CPU is bottlenecking the GPU in this particular scene. In more demanding areas, the FPS drops to about 80 plus, which is expected. But even here, the GPU load is quite low, 80, 70%. Not great. Oh, 76 FPS just then. I wonder what the performance will be like inside of the town. As expected, not great. It's dropping below 60 from time to time. But to be honest, once again, that is not CPU's or GPU's fault in this particular area right here, because game developers did a very poor job optimizing this game. They explain it with high CPU utilization for every NPC that we have in the vicinity. But that shouldn't be the case, because this is a high-end CPU, i7-14700KF. This is unacceptable. Now let's check what the performance difference will be like if we enable DLSS. So at the moment, with native resolution, no DLSS, we are getting 100 to 103 FPS in this particular scene. And if we set DLSS to quality mode, now we are at 100 to 103, so that's 20 FPS more. That's pretty good. And the quality is still fine. So I think it is still worth it to use DLSS at 1440p. Bad news is that DLSS doesn't help inside of the town, because once again, we are limited by the CPU and poor game optimization in this particular area. So even if you lock your FPS at 60, you will not have a good time. Although I'm curious, how much better will it be if we lock the FPS at 60? Let's check. Okay, it is a little bit better, or maybe not. Nah, it's still stuttery. When you stand still and nothing happens, as you can see, the FPS is quite stable and the frame time graph is more or less flat. However, as soon as you start moving around, you are getting stutters right away. Yeah. Awful. And if you are wondering what the performance will be like at 1080p resolution, then let's have a look at it. I'm still using maxed out settings, and by the way, all this time Ray Tracing was enabled and DLSS is turned off. Inside of the town, as expected, we're still getting horrible performance. We are not even seeing consistent 60 FPS. Yeah. Game developers, come on already. Can you fix this issue, please? It's been 1 month. It's about time. This performance issue is horrible. Surely that contributes to a lot of the players leaving the game, because it used to have something like close to 200k concurrent players on Steam, and now it's down to, what, 50, 40,000? Pathetic. And once we are outside of the town, we're still CPU limited, 90% utilization, 80+% utilization. But we are seeing above 100 FPS. Oh, what is this? Let's fight him. Get some. That's it. I definitely do not recommend you use the RTX 4090 to play games at 1080p, but for the sake of curiosity, I think it is always interesting to check what the performance is like, and to learn about other bottlenecks in your system. In this case, it's the CPU, as well as game optimization. But if we had a faster CPU, we could brute force our way through this performance limit, because I'm not holding my breath for the game developers to actually fix any of the issues. I hope they do, but there is no guarantee that they will. So, I guess next generation CPUs will be very much welcome to run these latest AAA games at higher FPS. In conclusion, it is possible to get a consistent 60+ FPS experience with the RTX 4090 at 4K resolution, even with maxed out settings. With the only exception, of course, is the town area, where the CPU utilization optimization is horrible, and that is not hardware's fault, that is game developers' fault. We're still waiting for this issue to be fixed by the game developers. The i7-14700KF did very well at 4K, however, we started running into CPU limitations at 1440p resolution. But that is to be expected with such a powerful GPU, and a game that works so poorly. If you are interested in any of the products featured in this video, you can find them linked in the description below. Let me know in the comments what do you think about all this, and don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more if you haven't already. It was I, Vadim. Until next time.